What's good YouTube, Ben here, welcome to the next video on the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you my Toon deck profile on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so if you want to see more content like this, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Please remember to hit that like button because it's really important for the algorithm. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell to be notified of all uploads and live streams, and don't forget to join me on Trovo and on Twitch. Those links are in the description below. Let's get into the video. Alright, so Toons are up there as one of my top 3 favourite archetypes. I love Toons. This is my profile for Toons in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So we're going to start off with 3 copies of the Black Stone of Legend. This basically, as soon as you summon it, allows you to instantly special summon into a Toon Red Eyes Black Dragon if you have one in your deck. 3 copies of Max C during either player's turn, but you only really want to activate this during your opponent's turn. For every monster that your opponent special summons, you get to draw a card. Very good draw power. 2 copies of Toon Mermaid. Toon Mermaid's a decent level 4 monster you can go into, but it's not one of the main monsters of the deck. You only really want to summon this if you want to go into other plays. 2 copies of Toon Harpy Lady. Toon Harpy Lady is a pretty decent one actually, level 4, but if this card is, you can special summon this if you have Toon World and another Toon monster. If you special summon this whilst another Toon monster is out, you're able to destroy one of your opponent's spells or traps, so it's a little bit of back row removal. 1 copy of Toon Cyber Dragon. It's 2100 points, so it's not too bad. Plus this can be used in certain plays. I will go into that when we get to the extra deck. 2 copies of the Toon Red Eyes Black Dragon. I was running this at 3, but found myself bricking very frequently with 3. 2 is enough because of the 3 Black Stones of Legend. So when this card is summoned once per turn, you can instantly special summon a Toon monster from your hand, regardless of its summoning conditions. Very powerful for getting stuff on the board. 3 copies of the Toon Dark Magician. So this is also another really good one as well. The Toon Dark Magician, once per turn, you can discard a Toon card, and in place of it, you can either instantly special summon a monster from your deck, regardless of its conditions, as long as it's a Toon, or you can add a Toon spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So it's a great way to just add a bit more draw power to the deck, plus a 2500 point beat stick is not bad at all. 3 copies of the Toon Blackluster Soldier. This is one of the main monsters, along with Toon Dark Magician and Toon Red Eyes, that you want to be summoning through the deck. This card is very powerful, so it's just got a normal summoning requirement, but once per turn, if you control Toon World, you can target 1 card on the field and you can banish it, but it can't attack the turn it's activated. It's a great way for removing really cloggy boards apart, just by banishing. 3 copies of Toon Table of Contents. Toon Table of Contents is just instant draw power. It allows you to add a Toon card from your deck to your hand. 3 copies of the Pot of Extravagance, which allow you to banish 3 or 6 random face down cards from your extra deck. And if you do, you're allowed to draw 1 or 2 cards, depending on whether or not you banish 3 or 6. Really good draw power for the deck. 3 copies of the Toon Bookmark. So the Toon Bookmark plays 2 roles. So I want to clear something up for a strategy first. If you, in your first hand, draw into Toon Table of Contents, I would use Toon Table to draw into Toon Bookmark, because Toon Bookmark has a secondary effect which is incredibly useful. So this just allows you to add 1 Toon World and 1 card that specifically lists Toon World in its text to your hand, so it can be used to grab a wide variety of cards. But its secondary effect. Once per turn, when this card is in the graveyard, if a Toon World, or in this case Toon Kingdom, gets targeted to be destroyed, you can banish this card from the graveyard, instead protecting it. It's a layer of protection, and it is super useful. In the duel I've got coming up after this, you'll see. 3 copies of Comic Hand. Comic Hand is an incredibly useful card for just getting your opponent's big beefy monsters, taking control of them. So when you activate this card, as long as this card remains up on the field, the monster that you targeted becomes yours. It's under your control, and it becomes a Toon. It gets all the Toon benefits, including protection from Toon Kingdom and the ability to attack directly. 3 copies of Toon Kingdom. This deck cannot work without this card. You could use Toon World, but Toon World is nowhere near as good as Toon Kingdom. Toon Kingdom is a must for this deck. So when this card is activated, you banish 3 cards from the top of your deck face down, and then every time your opponent would target a Toon monster with effects or attacks, you can just banish a card from your deck face down to protect it. Incredibly useful. 3 copies of Toon Page Flip. So if you control Toon World, you can reveal 3 Toon monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one and special summons it regardless of its conditions. This is a great way to go into either Red Eyes, Dark Magician, or Blackluster Soldier. And we run 3 because it's just an incredibly good card. And 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. When a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. Now, you may be wondering why I'm running this. It's because our monsters are protected. If you have Toon World or Toon Kingdom in place, and your Toons are on the field, if you activate Torrential Tribute, your monsters won't get destroyed because they're protected by Toon Kingdom. Your opponent, not so much. So it's a great way to wipe their board if you can. And then the extra deck, there's only a few of these that actually make sense. So the Chimeritic Fortress Dragon makes sense, especially if you're going against a Cyber deck. You can use their monsters to summon it, which is super useful. And then Chimeritic Mega Fleet, you can actually summon this yourself. So this is one of the reasons why we're running 1 copy of Toon Cyber Dragon, because all this takes is 1 monster in the extra monster zone and a Cyber Dragon. So if they have something ridiculously powerful in their extra monster zone, you can just summon your Cyber Dragon and then use those 2 to go into Mega Fleet, getting rid of whatever bullcrap they've got on the board. And then the only other ones you want to pay attention to are the 3 copies of Utopia. Utopia can be incredibly useful in this deck, considering you're running a few level 4s, but it's not one you're going to typically go into, but it is there if you do need it. And then the Barricade Board Blocker. This is also a decent link to run as well, because when it's summoned you can discard 1 card during the end phase of this turn, add 1 continuous or field spell from your graveyard to your hand. So if you're out of Toon Kingdoms, you can summon this at the end of the turn, you will get back your Toon Kingdom. But that's the deck profile, so I'll transition to a duel and you'll see what this deck can do. So if you want to see more content like this, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Please remember to hit that like button because it's really important for the algorithm. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell to be notified of all uploads and live streams, and don't forget to join me on Trovo and on Twitch. Those links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time.